guys, this is Crystal. Welcome back to my channel, and if you're new, welcome. Today I'm ready to tell my abuse story of what happened to me. I'm not going to tell the whole, it would be a long drawn out thing, but starting off, this was on Christmas Eve. My youngest daughter was the only one that was going home with me on this particular night, me and my ex. And so we were in the car going home. We actually had stopped at Blockbuster to rent a movie. The young guy was like, "Hi, how are you? You get a free rental. Blah, blah, blah." I said, "Oh, okay, thank you." Well, immediately he thought the guy knew me. Now, mind you, this is like an 18-year-old boy. He thought the guy knew me and was giving me a free rental. He told me to go get in the effing car. And I said, "Excuse me, Daddy." And I was like, my own daddy didn't even tell me what to do because, you know, my mom and dad wasn't together. They divorced when I was like 2. So anyways, it escalates and there's a bunch of people in there. So we go out to the car, me and my youngest daughter, who was like 8 at the time. We go out to the car, and as soon as he gets in the car, he backhands me in my nose and my mouth. Blood went everywhere. 2 Mexican women was walking by the front of the car because we was pulled up to Blockbuster. And they started screaming, ran to their cars, locked the door and everything. I was trying to get out again. He was holding me by the hair of my head, and I couldn't get out, and plus my daughter was in the back seat. So on the way home, I thought, well, if I open my door, you know, somebody's going to see me open my door and is going to call the cops or something. Nope, not at all. So we lived in a different town, way out in the country. This was not the hog farm. This was a different farm that he worked on. And anyways, he continued to just backhand me all the way home. Well, my daughter was standing in between the seats and hollered, "Don't hit my mom," and he backhanded her. I mean, it knocked her out. So at this point, by the time we get home, she's awake, and there's blood everywhere. I mean, it looked like somebody had been killed in the car. He tells me to clean up the car while he continues to go inside. I told my daughter to go hide. She don't have no recollection of anything that happened. She don't remember any of it. But I had told her to go hide. Well, at this point, I had went inside. He thought I was cleaning the car out. And the first thing I did was go to the kitchen and grab a butcher knife. He came to the kitchen and he was telling me, "You're not going to do anything, ha ha ha." He was laughing, and I said, "Stay the fuck away from me or I'll kill you." And he continued to come closer to me. When he got up to me, I did stab him in the stomach because that was my only instinct of what to do because I was in this situation. I stabbed him. I took off running up to the boss's house, which was, I would say, a half a mile maybe. And you guys, this is something like out of a horror movie. You know, you see where people's running and they fall down. Well, that was me. So I'm running through. There's cows out in the field and everything. It's in the middle of the night. Running through, tripping a hole, fall down, running, tripping a hole, fall down. Climb through the fence, make it up to the owner, the boss's house. And I'm at the back door. Mind you, I've never been up to the boss's house. So I'm at the back door. It's double glass doors, and I guess I'm in shock. I'm just standing there looking through the glass door, and their 16-year-old son was sitting there looking at the glass door, but he was sitting there eating, and he just looked up and see me, and he's like, ah, and started screaming. Was Mom comes running in there. At this point, I open the door, and I walk in, and she's like, what the fuck happened to you? And I told her, and I was like, can you call my mom? And you guys, I couldn't even remember my mom's phone number. It was just, I was giving her the wrong numbers. It was kind of a crazy ordeal. At this point, I did finally remember the number. She called my mom. My mom was on her way. She takes me to her truck. She has me locked inside her truck with her. He comes up there. At this point, he's got my daughter. That's not his daughter. Has my youngest daughter. And I could hear him and her like hollering for me, you know. And he's like, oh, my wife, where's my wife? And he's asking the boss, what happened to my wife? Like he didn't know, you know, and everything. And so here comes my mom, and they get me. Well, charges were filed. Like again, this was the second time charges were. DA picked up charges. I did not file charges. We separated for a few days, and you guys and I went right back, but we moved to a different county. Now, I'd made a video about the second county, and somehow I guess it got deleted. I don't want to make this into a long video, so I'm going to try to hurry through it. So, I'm just going to start from this particular night everything happened. So, I went back to him. Okay, he did go to jail, and then he got out on probation, second time on year's probation, because the DA picked up charges. So, on the third time, it was just me and him. We were headed home. It was just starting to get dark. Out of nowhere, he starts accusing me of looking at one of his friends. He's at his friend's house. I sat in the car. I never got out over there. Accused me of looking at one of his friends. Everything was just fine. All of a sudden, he says that, backhands me. Blood goes everywhere, my nose, my mouth. So anyways, I'm trying to get out of the car again. He grabs me by the hair of my head. There wasn't anywhere to go because this was like out in the middle of nowhere. No houses around or anything. We lived on a hog farm at this point. So I would always just put my arms up, to try to keep him from hitting me every time he had moved. So at this point, we get to the house. Now, where we lived, it was a cattle guard, and it locked, but they hung the key down, right there by it. The only, I guess we knew, and the owner. So we lived there at the hog farm. So this went on, him beating me, raping me, beating me, threatening to kill me. He told me, tomorrow I'm going to cut you up and put you in the hog burner. Nobody will find you. It was just me and him. None of my kids were there. So I'd look at myself in the mirror, and he'd be like, what, do you want some more? Do you like it? And my face and everything was black and blue. So the next day, he always walked to the hog farm. And you guys, just out of nowhere, I was just thinking, how am this sounds bad to say, how am I going to kill him or get out of this situation? It's either him or me at this point. And anybody who says that they can never kill somebody, you don't never know until you're in that situation, because you're thinking it's either them or me, and you're going to do what you have to. So at this point, I don't even remember going to the car or anything. I remember I'm at the gate. Now, mind you, this is walking distance to the hog farm. I'm at the gate, and I'm trying to find the key. And I'm thinking he's taking the key. I eventually found it, and I just swung that gate open as hard as I can. Now, if you guys know on a hog farm, this is a big, heavy metal gate. I didn't care at this point if I just hit it with the car. And I was gone. It was like 45 minutes from my mom's. I was paranoid. I thought he was following me, yet he had no car. He had no way of getting, I was scared to death. I was paranoid. I was hyperventilating. Didn't know if I was going to make it. My anxiety was, you don't know until you're in that situation. So I get to my mom's, and she grabbed her gun. She was wanting to go. She was going to go kill him. And my stepdad said, no, don't do that. Let's go to the cops. So we went to the cops in Poto, Oklahoma. That's where I live. They said, no, you have to go to a different county, or a county where it happened. So we went to that county. They went out with the whole SWAT team of cops. He had been in prison before I got with him. I didn't know this at the time. For shooting with intent to kill. He did shoot a guy several times, but he did live. He shot close to his heart, but he did live. He served 6 years in prison, and he had just been released like two months before I got with him. So they did go out with the whole SWAT team. Because he did have guns and everything there, and they did get him as he was trying to escape through a window out the back. I guess he didn't know there was cops out the back. So he did escape. He didn't escape. They got him. You guys, after that, I had to go to the emergency room to be evaluated. I didn't know the extent of my injuries. He had bit my ears. My ears were black. He had bit my chest all over. There were bite marks all over me. He had bit my finger. I had a gold ring on my finger. He had bit it completely in two. He had bit my fingers. He had bit my breast. He had bit my chest. I had bite marks all over me. From where he had bit me and stuff like that. It was terrible. I didn't have a cell phone at that time, I don't guess. I can't even remember. You guys, this has been like 15, 16 years ago. I did, however, later on call the courthouse because I wanted the pictures, because I did have to go to court. And they did show pictures of me in court that the police officers had taken of me. And I wanted those pictures just for myself so I could, look at them. However, I didn't know they only keep the records for so long and they destroy them. So they were destroyed, unfortunately. So I didn't have any pictures for me to see. I remember them showing me the pictures in court, but you guys, it was like a nightmare, So, however, he was arrested. Somehow, I guess he bonded out. I don't even remember how but then they did pick him up on drug charges, something. They did go to his house. He did spend like 13 or 14 years in prison. Later on, found out he had raped my 12-year-old daughter, which was my oldest daughter at the time. He had raped her while my youngest daughter was in the bed while it was happening. So there was kind of some things there that I should have caught on to, but I really didn't, and I really regret it because, it was just so, he had me so brainwashed and everything. I just didn't really realize what was going on. That's what is wrong with my jaw, how it sets back. They wanted to re-break. My jaw was froze up for 3 months. I barely could fit a toothbrush in there. Couldn't move it to chew food and stuff. They wanted to break it and reset my jaw, and I refused to do it. I did, however, I would every day, a lot, I would rub my jaw. Of course, it hurt. I had bad headaches. it eventually came unlocked. It popped back. It was popped out of place, but it did eventually go back into place. Now, if I eat hard candy or anything, it will try to pop back out of place, so I try not to eat anything that I know. Butterfinger candy bars, that was the world's worst. It would pop it out of place. So yeah, so that contributes a lot to my neck, because my jaw is setting so far back now, and I grind my teeth at night when I sleep because of it. So that's my story of abuse. I just wanted to get on here. That's not the whole story, but that was the ending of when he was gone. He did, however, send a letter through the mail. He had gotten a woman pregnant. I guess she didn't find out she was pregnant till after we were already together, first together. So, you know, he went to prison. He sent me a letter, but under, I guess, a cellmate's name or a fake name, I don't know. But it wasn't his name. Wanting me to locate his daughter, or he was going to take matters into his own hands, basically threatening me. I did not contact anybody. I just threw it in the trash, and I never contacted him, never wrote him or anything. Never had any contact with him after that. Just because, for one, he's not going to threaten me, and that's why I'm so against men beating on women. I don't care if I sit out in the middle of the road. I'm going to say something and get in between it, because, you know, it's just not right. It's also not right for women to beat on men, because that does happen. Even though people think that doesn't happen, that does happen. So I just wanted to get on here and mention all that, tell you guys what I'd been through. Sorry it's such a long video. So God bless, and you all have a beautiful day.